Hello, this is day 5 of AOC Advent of Cyber 2025 by Try Hack Me. It's been a few days, so I'm going to be covering this room now. Basically, there is not much to this one. It's pretty simple. The next one, day 6, is unfortunately inaccessible, so I'm going to lump these both in one video, because while you can read day 6 by yourself if you want to do that, you cannot actually find the answers to the questions because of the way they have set up the room. Basically what they've done is they've made the file, the quintessential file you need to analyze, because it's a malware analysis room. The malware you're investigating is not downloadable and stuck in their machine, and their machine is not accessible, so there is not really an easy way that won't make you want to tear your hair out to do that room. You can absolutely do the activities. The tools for it are accessible. They use PE Studio, PE Studio, I think it's called, and that works fine on Windows. I checked it. It works fine on Windows. It's a bit iffy with keyboard navigation, so you do need to use your object navigation keys for NVDA or JAWS cursor JAWS if you have it. But yeah, we can't get the file, so it's just a non-starter, unfortunately. I'll give you the answers where I can. It's going to be a couple of long ones, because there's one like SHA, like SHA-256 value. So I may have to put that one in the video description, but I'll see. That's not technically allowed, so I may have to read it out loud. It's going to be a long string, but we'll see how we persist. Yeah, without further ado, let's stop the music and start the story. First, day 5. IDOR. Sent as little IDOR. IDOR. This is supposedly a medium room. I have my doubts. It's quite a simple room from what I saw. But let's see. Day 5. The YouTuber covering this, that's not me, is David Ackerman. I don't know. Let's see. The machine is already active because I took the liberty of doing that beforehand. That way we don't get that ARIA spam stopping me from reading something out loud, which is a little annoying sometimes. We are good though. We're good to go. I will read what we need to read, and then we shall continue. Task 1, Introduction. The story. We have a banner with nothing on the banner that we can read. The elves of Wareville are on a high alert since McSkitty went missing. Recently, the support team has been receiving many calls from parents who can't activate vouchers on the Try Present Me website. They also mentioned they are receiving many targeted phishing emails containing information that is not public. The support team is wary and has enlisted the help of the TBFC staff. When looking into this peculiar case, they discovered a suspiciously named account named Sir Carrotbane, which has many vouchers assigned to it. For now, they have deleted the account and retrieved the vouchers. But something is going on. Can you help TBFC staff investigate the Try Present Me website and fix the vulnerabilities? Learning objectives. Understand the concept of authentication and authorization. Learn how to spot potential opportunities for insecure direct object references, IDORs. Exploit IDOR to perform horizontal privilege escalation. So that's a pivot, basically. Learn how to turn IDOR into SDOR, secure direct object reference. Connecting to the machine. Before moving forward, review the questions in the connection card shown below. Task connection card is the alt text for this image. Not a good alt text. Start your target VM by clicking the start machine button below. We've already done that. We will do about 2 minutes to boot. That's why we've already done it. The attack box will start in split screen. We don't think we need the attack box for this one, but we'll see. We are given a URL that we should open. We will do that. This will probably still hold the previous thing. Yeah, the stupid AI thing. Sorry, I did not like that room at all. It was way too slow. So, here we are. Try present me. We're on the website. Very cool. Okay, all machines details can be found at the top of the page. We don't really need anything but the URL that we were just given, so we are good on that front. Answer the questions below. My target machine and the attack box have started, and I am ready to learn about IDOR. Okay, that one's done. IDOR on the shelf, task 2. It's dangerously obvious, really. Have you ever seen a link that looks like this? awesome.website.thm/track packages !package ID equals 1001. When you saw a link like this, have you ever wondered what would happen if you simply changed the package ID to 11 or 12? In the simplest form, this can be a potential case of an IDOR. IDOR stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference and is a type of access control vulnerability. Web applications often use references to determine what data to return when you make a request. However, if the web server does not perform checks to ensure you are allowed to view that data before sending it, it can lead to serious sensitive information disclosure. A good question to ask them then is, why does this happen so often? We need to understand references and web development a bit more to answer this. Let's take a look at what a table storing these package values looks like. I'm going to summarize this. Basically, the way this works is you have every record, every row in a list of things, for example, packages, has a number. And it is very easy to just have those be sequential, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at that point, you can just change the reference to a particular package to a reference to another package. So if instead of you're looking at package 1000, you're looking at package 1001, for example. And a good web application wouldn't let you do this because it will check, hey, the user is trying to access this package. Is that even his package? But a lot of janky applications don't check for this properly, and that's when you can just look at somebody else's package stuff, which is not good. It's just scrolling past because they're explaining that same thing with way more words, showing SQL queries, which I really don't feel is helpful in this particular room. You just need to understand how this works, and conceptually, you don't really need to know the actual code for it. Yep. That's pretty much what I just said. Yep. So one point they are making is that if you do this and you don't even have to log in, you don't have a way to verify who was messing with these packages to begin with. To dive a bit deeper, we need to understand authentication, authorization, and privilege escalation. A note from one of the co-authors of this room. I am not a fan of the vulnerability name IDOR. I prefer the name authorization bypass. If you want to understand my reasoning, expand here. But you don't have to be bored with the details. Okay, then I won't, because this is a video to do the room, not to read someone's theory. Identity defines our reach. To understand the root cause of IDOR, it is important to understand the basic principles of authentication and authorization. Authentication, the process by which you verify who you are, for example, supplying your username and password. Authorization, the process by which the web application verifies your permissions. For example, are you allowed to visit the admin page for a web application, or are you allowed to make a payment using a specific account? You may think that authentication only happens once when you supply your username and password, but that is actually not the case. After providing your credentials, you receive a cookie or a token called session information. Every subsequent request you make to the application includes this session information, which is verified by the application. This initial verification process is still authentication and happens for each request. This is why websites will often redirect you back to the login page. It means your session information has expired, and thus you need to re-authenticate with your credentials to receive new session information. Authorization cannot happen before authentication. If the application doesn't know who you are, it cannot verify what permissions your user has. This is very important to remember. If your IDOR doesn't require you to authenticate, log in, or provide session information, such as in our package tracking example, we will have to fix authentication first before we can fix the authorization issue of making sure that users can only get information about packages they own. The last bit of theory to cover is privilege escalation types. Vertical privilege escalation. This refers to privilege escalation where you gain access to more features. For example, you may be a normal user on the application, but can't perform actions that should be restricted to an administrator. Horizontal privilege escalation. This refers to privilege escalation where you use a feature you are authorized to use but gain access to data that you are not allowed to access. For example, you should only be able to see your accounts, not someone else's accounts. IDOR is usually a form of horizontal privilege escalation. You are allowed to make use of the track package functionality, but you should be restricted to only performing that tracking action on packages you own. Now that we understand the theory, let's look at how to exploit a IDOR practically. Iterate digits, observe responses. That's another way of saying IDOR, yeah. Let's start with the simplest example for IDOR. On the web application, let's authenticate to the application using the details below, credentials. Niels? That's a Dutch name. I guess a Dutch writer. Try hack me number 2025. Let's log into that user. So we're going to the web application here. We'll log in. The username is Niels, Niels. Password is this password we were given, which is try hack me hashtag 2025, like number 2025. Are we logged in? Yes. We are on the parent dashboard for Niels. Let's see. Once authenticated, you should see a dashboard like this. Yes, we do. Let's start by using the developer tools of our browser to better understand what is happening in the background. I think that's a bit much, but sure. I'll humor you. Right-click on the page and click Inspect, and then click on the Network tab as shown below. Now let's refresh the page and see what requests are being made. It should look something like this. Let's take a... Okay, we don't see these screenshots for some reason. They might not have alt text, or I did not refresh the page often enough to get them to show up. Let's take a closer look at the view_account info request. Click on it and you'll see the following. In the above image, we can see that the user ID with the value of 10 was used for the request. If we click and expand the response tab, we can see that this user ID corresponds to our user. Okay, this one does have alt text, developer tools, view account info response header. So we don't really get that much information from alt text. Okay. This tells us that the application is using our user ID as the reference for getting details. Let's see what happens when we change this. In the developer tools, navigate to the storage tab and expand the local storage dropdown on the left side and click the URL inside it. Let's change the user ID to 11 and see what happens. Double click on the value field of the auth user data entry, update the user ID to 11 and save it by pressing enter. Now refresh the page. All of a sudden, it seems like you are a completely different user. This is the simplest form of IDOR. Simply changing the user ID of something else means we can see other users' data. Some IDORs might be slightly more hidden. Just because you don't see a direct number doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let's dive deeper. To continue on to the next challenges of the task, go and change the ID back to 10 using the same steps you followed above. Alternatively, you can log out of the applications and log back in using the username and password. In disguise, obvious references. Sometimes IDOR may not be as simple as just a number. In certain cases, encoding may have been used. On the loaded profile, click the eye icon next to the first child as shown on the image below. But click on the eye icon next to the first child as shown on the image below. Do we have access to that? Is that accessible? Let's find out. Bilbo is the first child. I'm guessing the I means view details. Let's see what it says. Now go back to the network tab and take a look at the requests being made. You should see a request like this. Yeah, again, this is a very inaccessible room in the sense that all these screenshots have almost no alt text, so we don't see them, which means that we essentially have to do exactly what they say and hope that we get these same results. This is not a great way to do it. Simply put, the mg equals is just the base64 encoding version of the number 2. You could still perform IDOR using this request, but you would have to base64 encode that number first. In digests, objects remain. Okay, so they're being clever with IDOR, okay. Encoding isn't the only thing that can be used to hide potential IDOR vulnerabilities. Sometimes the values may look like a hash, such as MD5 or SHA1. If you want to see what that would look like, take a look at the request that happens when you click the edit icon next to a child. While the string may look random, upon further investigation, you can see that it is a type of hash. If we understand what value was used to generate the hash, we can perform an IDOR attack by simply replicating the hashing function. Using something like hash identifier can help you quickly understand what hashing algorithm is being used and can often tell you what data was hashed. It's deterministic, obviously reproducible. Again, different words for letters IDOR, very clever. Sometimes you have to dig quite deep for IDOR. Sometimes IDOR is not clear. Sometimes the IDOR stems from the actual algorithm being used. In this last case, let's take a look at our vouchers. While the values may look random, we need to investigate what algorithm was used to generate them. Their format looks like UUID, so let's use a website such as UUID decoder to try to understand what UUID format was used. Copy one of the vouchers to the website for decoding, and you should see something like this. Another screenshot that we cannot see. Well, these look completely random. We can see that the UUID version 1 was used. The issue with UUID 1 is that if we know the exact date when the code was generated, we can recover the UUID. For example, suppose we knew the elves always generate vouchers between 2000 and 2100 hours. In that case, we can create UUIDs for that entire time period. 3600 UUIDs since we have 60 minutes and 60 seconds in a minute, which we could use in a brute force attack to aim to recover a valid voucher and get more gifts. Now that we have seen the various IDORs that can be found, let's discuss how to fix them and avoid them. Improve design, obliterate risk. Yes, okay, now they're going to explain that you shouldn't use sequential numbers. I think we can go to the, to the questions. What does IDOR stand for? Well, he just gave us a bunch of different things. And honestly, my head's spinning a tiny bit from that, so let's find the actual definition again. Insecure direct object reference, that's what it was. Insecure direct object reference. That's correct. What type of privilege escalation are most IDOR's cases? Horizontal. Exploiting the IDOR found in the view_accounts parameter, what is the user ID of the parent that has 10 children? So we can actually brute force this. Basically, what you could do is essentially go into the network tab, change that cookie around, and go through all of these to find what you have to do. I feel that's a bit of a busy work kind of situation, so I'm just going to guess answers. It's not 11. It's not 12. It's not 13. You're going too fast. Okay. 14? 15? Yes. So I figured, because the parent we have now is 10, I figured it would be somewhere in between 10 and 19. So yes, you could go and like do exactly what the thing just taught us, but it is a lot easier to just brute force these kinds of quick answers. Bonus task. Well, this is not a bonus task because you need to do the room entirely to get the raffle ticket. If you want to dive even deeper, use either the base64 or MD5 child endpoint and try to find the ID number of the child born on 2019. Okay. Yes, so... Oh, okay. So you can do these. These are bonus tasks, but they are not mandatory because you can just say that you did them and not do them. I honestly feel that's outside the scope of this video, so I'm going to not do these bonus tasks. Like, you can go a lot further with these, absolutely, but that's more of a side quest material, I would say, so we're not doing that in this one. We're already combining 2 videos in 2 days in one video, so yeah, let's not do that. That's day 1, or day 5 in this case, done. Day 1 of this video, I suppose. Let's go to number 6, which honestly I'm going to blaze through because we cannot do the majority of the video. The day, rather. Go to Wareville. Okay. We're back here. Let's do the malware one. That's this one. I will refresh the page because that sometimes gives us alt texts that don't always show up the first time. Some kind of bug. I don't know why that bug exists, but it's there. I've seen it happen several times now. Yeah, we're waiting for this to load. Basically, this is day 6. This is a malware analysis day. Very, very interesting stuff. Very undercovered on IC0, the Twitch channel I host for this kinds of stuff. So definitely something I'm going to be doing in 2026 to make sure that that gets some coverage. That's important. So to get like a good accessible toolkit essentially ready for it. So this is a 45-minute task as well, considered medium. We unfortunately cannot do it, so it will not. It'll only take us like 10 minutes, if that. Okay. I'll read the story and then we will just honestly blaze right through the questions because that's just how these kinds of things go. We can't do the things. If you want to read the text, you can do that yourself. You don't need me for that. And yeah, I can't help you take the walkthrough because it's inaccessible. So this is covered by who's that? Try Hack Me themselves. Okay, interesting. All right, well, let's see. There's a story. Task banner for day 6. No useful information on the banner. Alt text. The town of Wareville remains quiet in the middle of the night. While the residents of Wareville are nicely tucked up in their bed, blissfully unaware, the SOC team at the Best Festival Company, TBFC, remain alert, poised and ready for whatever may face them. Monitoring their screens, armed with a freshly poured mug of hot cocoa, the elves of the SOC watch their dashboards diligently. Suddenly, the elves receive an email. in unison from Elf McClaus, head of Elf Affairs. In their inbox, it reads, from Elf McClaus, subject, a new schedule awaits. Attachments, hophelper.exe. To all elves, going forward, we will be using a new program for creating and viewing team rotas. This new program will revolutionize how rotas are made here in the best festival company. Please contact IT support if you have issues running the program. Kind regards, remain the best. Elf McClaus, head of Elf Affairs. Why is Elf McClaus working at 3 in the morning? Screams a member of the SOC team in the background. They're right, something is amiss. Elf McBlue is immediately suspicious. Their years of experience in the SOC have given them the wisdom not to download out of the blue executables. Get it? His name is McBlue. Don't download out of the blue. Get it? Ha? Heh. Right? Funny? Without McSkitty's wisdom, Elf McBlue takes charge, loading up their malware investigation toolkit. The investigation begins. Learning objectives. Today's room will have you taking the place of Elf McBlue, a highly talented member of the Best Festival Company's malware investigation squad. You have been tasked with investigating a highly suspicious executable that is being shared within the company. In today's room, we will be covering the following: the principles of malware analysis, an introduction to sandboxes, static versus dynamic analysis, tools of the trade, PE Studio, which is accessible, Procmon, I don't know about that one, Regshot, not sure about that one either, but PE Studio is fine. Connecting to the machine, we'll not be doing that. So yeah, you can get RDP access, which would probably honestly be enough to at least get started with this room if narrator worked, but it does not because audio is not working. But yeah, this is where we essentially get stymied. So I'm going to give you the answers in a minute. Please note, it is imperative that you do not execute hophelper.exe executable yet. The room will instruct you when to do so. Okay. So, first question, I have accessed the environment. We don't, but hey, they don't need to know that. Task 2, malware analysis using sandboxes. I'm going to give you a couple of summaries here. Basically, what they're going to do, what they're going to show us is that you can statically analyze a binary, which means you can look for textual strings in the code. And that's, I think, the first question, which would be perfectly doable with something like strings in Linux or, I guess, PE Studio in Windows. And dynamically, which is where you attach a debugger and run the actual executable in a sandbox so you can see what it tries to do without it actually causing any harm. So that's what they're showing in this room. And that's also what we cannot do. First question is static analysis. What is the SHA25256 sum of the hophelper.exe? I need to go look at a guide for this. It's a very long value. I'm going to copy the value, paste it into the questions box, and then I'll have the computer read the string bit by bit. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Edit unavailable 2 F 2 9 C 2 7 0 0 6 8 F 8 6 5 E F 4 8 7 4 7 E 2 6 8 3 B F
B F
8 0 7 6 6 7 B F B.
Sorry, BF. The second B is superfluous. Let me just
Static
do
analysis.
this again.
Edit out of edit. Edit unavailable. F 2 9 C 2 7 0 0 6 8 F 8 6 5 E F 4 A 7 4 7 E 2 6 8 3 B F A 0 7 6 6 7 B F 6 4 E 7 6 8 B 3 8 F B B 9 A 2 7 5 0 A 3 B 8 7 9 C A 3 3 out of edit button C.
That's it. That's the entire value. Next question. Within the strings of hophelper.exe, a flag with the format thm bracket xxxx exists. What is the value? Note this can be found towards the bottom of the strings output. Okay. That flag is thm bracket strings underscore found. No weird lead speak in this case, just those two words in caps is the answer. Dynamic analysis. What registry value has the hophelper.exe modified for persistence? It's again a very long value. Copy pasting it into the form. Uh-oh, it's not correct.
Speech
Let's see
mode
what
off.
happens.
R E P E R blank blank HKUS15 21,900. Note, provide the full path of the key that has been modified. Edit word. Graphic field is not valid. Oh, the answer you provided may not be in English. Please.
May not be in English. I see.
Speech mode off.
Let's see what the problem might be here. This is what this particular article I'm looking at is giving me as the results. Not sure what I missed. Let's look at another article. Yeah, here we have another one. Let's see if that's better. This unfortunately is the trade that we have to go with. Let's see. Registry value. Okay, this one doesn't have the answer. That's not very helpful. Need to find yet another one. Let's see. The one interesting thing here is that sometimes I do these beforehand, but then, you know, you don't get the moment in the video where we answer the question. But it also means that if this kind of thing happens, I have to fix it on the Okay, yeah, this doesn't have the answer. I'll check one more of these. Okay, yeah, this at least has the answers. Good. This is the string we want, so let's try if it works from this particular page. Maybe this has something that works. No.
Speech U back S dash 1 and dash 5
Ah,
and dash 2 and dash 1 and dash 1 and dash 9 6 6 5 3 0 6 0 1 and dash 3 and dash 1 and dash.
okay, we see the issues. The dashes did not survive the
Try acne malware analysis. Executable. Node. Provide. Edit unavailable list.
that was embarrassing. I did not check for that. So basically a number of dashes in this code had been turned into M dashes, very AI of them, and that caused the answer not to be accepted. I will let the computer read the full string because it is again quite long.
H K
H K U backslash
S dash 1 dash 5 dash 2 1 dash 1 9 6 6 5 3 0 6 0 1 dash 3 1 8 5 5 1 0 7 1 2 dash 1 0 6 0 4 6 2 4 dash 1 0 0 8 backslash
software backslash Microsoft backslash Windows backslash current version backslash run backslash hop helper.
Button correct answer. Speech mode off.
Next question. Filter the output of Procmon for TCP operations. What network protocol is hop helper using to communicate? Make sure that you have executed hop helper.exe while Procmon was open and capturing events. 4 characters. I'm going to just guess that it's HTTP in this case. I was correct. Very cool. Bonus. Can you find the web panel that hophelper.exe is communicating with? Okay, so this is another bonus. You have to click the hint to get the bonus. We're just going to press check. If you enjoyed today's room, feel free to explore both the basic static analysis and basic dynamic analysis rooms, where you can delve deeper into techniques and tools discussed today. And with that, this room is also done. That does it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Hope you enjoyed this. See you in the next one. Goodbye.